Hey, so I just got home. I only have a few minutes, so I just want to do a really quick update for ICX because it's a very important trade. Now we're at a crucial juncture here. So we actually have a bit of an inverted head and shoulders, you can see here. Now I've done videos in the past talking about how inverted head and shoulders, really all it is a correction and then the start of the next mode of wave. So if you're in the middle of an impulse wave, right? So we have, in this case, wave 2 and then wave 3. It actually creates an inverted head and shoulders by having the ABC with the zigzag, and then we complete the correction and then move on to the next mode of wave. And then we have the initial wave 1, 2, 3, subwave count of this wave 3. So it in turn forms an inverted head and shoulders. That's why I don't like when people say, "Oh, there's an inverted head and shoulders. It's a bullish sign." Well, what is that bullish? What is that head and shoulders telling you? Is that a properly formed a motive wave at the start of that impulse? In which case, that inversion could be a bullish indicator, but you don't want to jump to that conclusion right off the bat. So anyway, it's just worth noting that you can spot it. It's a very clearly defined formation. So now we have this new impulse wave. I already had 9.5% profit locked in on 40% of my position. We've moved up nicely since then, but what I'm thinking is, given how high the RSI is, we're up at 80 now. We are pretty overbought. We're probably going to have to correct. You can see a decline in the volume. We spiked up and wicked out to 33.90 or so. We're definitely due for the next correction. We could actually see, I'd be willing to bet this is a perfect extension. Let's see. Let's check wave 1. This is most likely that wave 3. Subwave 3 here is probably a perfect 1618 extension of wave 1. So let's do that. Let's see. Wow. Look at that. I had no idea that was going to be that precise when I called it. So that's pretty amazing. That is a perfect 1.618 extension of wave 1. Draw that out just so it's clearly defined. So we're looking for a correction here then, right? So we need to see this wave 4 correction. We already had wave 3, subwave 3 complete. That 1618 is exactly what target I would have set. Now, you probably could sell now, wait for the correction, and then buy back after it corrects. What I'm actually going to do is move my stop loss up to lock in most of my profits. Stay there, pup. Hey, easy, girl. Dogs haven't seen me yet since I walked in. Hey, stay. I'm almost done. All right, so in anticipation of this correcting, what I would like to do is lock in my profits. So if I set my SL, this support right here, 32.77, that's where the price currently is. The total run was over 20%, but right now we have about 16.5% locked in. So I'm going to lock in 14% profit here. Alright, so this is 14% profit. I'm actually going to do this with 60% of my position. Stop loss B is only going to be for 40% of my position, which I'll leave a small amount. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be doing 65.35. If this position closes and I get stopped out with 14% profit, I want to get stopped out on a majority of my entire ICX position. The reason being, I'll be able to buy back in after we complete our correction. In fact, I might even go a step lower. We're hugging that support right now. As long as the rest of the position is below this lower support, which would be my wave 4 target. Let's do a quick fib retracement just to get an idea of where that target would be for wave 4. Okay, right at the 382. So you can see how precise this is, right? It just sort of comes together. I'm able to come out with these counts. I'm able to design my trade how I see it playing out. And then look, sure enough, you do a fib retracement, and it's precisely where the 382 retracement is. So that's how you know I'm really in the zone. This trade, rather, is really in the zone. I'm working it out and putting it together, and as I'm building it, it's just matching everything else. It's just exactly... I modeled where this wave 3 most likely would be, and then sure enough, it's exactly at a 1618 extension once I draw the lines. Then I anticipate wave 4 coming back down to the 1-to-1 extension of wave 1, right at this support. And again, I've talked before about how crucial it is having support and resistance nailed down. You need to be able to identify supports, but more than anything else, that's the most important skill you need to master. And this is why. I identified it. I knew that was going to be my wave 4 target, and sure enough, when I do a retracement, it's exactly at the 382, which is what I also would have used as a potential target. I would have looked for that 382 to see what else was in the area. So I really like that target for wave 4. So I'm going to move my second stop loss. It's going to be just below that wave 4. So I still, if I do get stopped out, and then it just runs right back up and doesn't complete that correction, I'm still going to have an opportunity to stay in the trade with 35% of my position. If you're dealing with a much smaller bag and you only have $1,000 or $500 or $200 invested compared to my $12,000, you might be better off just using a single stop loss. Move it up. I mean, even sell right now if you really want to. You can sell right now and get 16.5% profit, and then after it corrects, buy back in. The only downside is if it doesn't correct yet, and if it keeps running up and catches a second wind, essentially you get an extended fifth, a wave 5 extension on subwave 5 of wave 3. It might continue to run up all the way to 35 cents, and then you're going to miss out on another 7 or 8% profit, which is a risk you're going to have to take. So in this instance, I am locking in 11% on my lower stop loss. So I still have 11% guaranteed on 35% of my position, which hopefully won't even be necessary because I'm hoping either we continue up and get the extension, which is unlikely. What's more likely going to happen is wave 4 is going to come down. I'm going to get stopped out with 14% profit on a majority of my position, and then I'll be able to re-enter after we continue our correction, depending on how low we go. I'm actually going to move this up slightly. I have to hurry up with this too because I'm doing this chart right now. I haven't actually placed the orders yet, which is atypical. Usually I place the orders first before I make this chart, but I haven't actually placed my orders yet. So if this comes down, I might miss out on this trade because I'm too busy doing the chart. This is 14.5% profit. So I gotta hurry up and do that. Actually, it's gotta come down slightly. I need it to be below that wick, right? It has to be below where that wick was at 32.13. So it's gonna be 14.4% profit in reality. All right, so that's the current plan. Let me place. I gotta hurry up and do this so I can place these orders. I'm gonna see if I get stopped out at 14.5%. I'm gonna see where we end up completing the correction. If it ends up at the 382, I'm gonna get another 3 or 4% profit here. After it finishes correcting, I can buy back in. And if I don't get stopped out and it keeps running up, great. I'll move my stop losses up again. And if it comes back down and corrects even further and it stops me out of both of my stop losses, it's not even a bad thing. If anything, it's a good thing. I'm going to get all my profit. Then I'm going to be able to buy back in down here, all the way down to maybe this 0.5 retracement at 30.70. Then I'll be able to buy back in much cheaper for the next wave up. Because this is going to be an open-ended trade. This right now, this wave 3 has the potential of going on a run for upwards of 70%. So it's a potentially big play. I definitely don't want to get kicked out of this trade now without any prospect of being back in, for the next segment. All right, that's it. Catch up with you guys in a bit.